Hey shooters, welcome back to the Shooters Resource Channel. Today we're going to be looking at the MR920 from Shadow Systems. Let's check it out. All right, shooters, there's our targets. Let's take it back to the 25-yard mark and let's see how we do in terms of accuracy. Again, haven't shot a lot, haven't shot for speed, for accuracy, anything. I've probably shot 1,000 rounds or less in the last year. It sounds like a lot. It is not a lot. When I used to shoot closer to 1,000 rounds a week before the pandemic. So, all right, let's try the 25-yard mark and see how we do. All right, first up, let's go for the 12-inch square. That ought to be a pretty easy one to hit. All right, 12-inch square. No problem. All right, 8x12 silhouette. No problem. All right, 8-inch circle. No problem. So you can barely hear the 8-inch circle when I hit it. It just doesn't ring. It's just the way that it is. But that loud ring you're hearing is coming from the 12 by 12 square or diamond. All right. All right. So she shoots pretty good. Y'all don't mind the chicken sounds in the background. No chickens were harmed in this video. That's just a chicken that's actually laying an egg. So you can see they are just enjoying themselves up here. And they don't mind gunshots at all. They've been hearing them their whole lives. So, all right, let's check out some of the features here on the MR920. Of course, one of the biggest benefits to this Shadow Systems series of pistols is that they are Glock clones, meaning that they accept Glock magazines, they're modeled after the Glock, and they fit in your Glock holsters. So you really can't go wrong there. I wish that Shadow Systems had the ability to provide this with an actual Glock magazine with a steel lining. But they don't, and they provide the Magpul magazines, which are, fairly decent. I've had decent luck with these. I have had some failures with these over time where I've shot a lot of rounds through them. They get kind of grime and stuff on the inside of them, and they started to seize up on me. Just don't like these as much as the actual factory Glocks. But, because this isn't Glock, of course, they can't provide a Glock factory mag. But if you were like me and you've got plenty of them sitting around, that's no problem because you can just use your Glock mag you have sitting around. But the gun is just a beautiful gun. Spiral fluting on the barrel, great serrations, which helps lighten the entire setup. You've got a nice metallic cover here. Just overall better looking pistol in my opinion. The texturing is better as well. You've got a low profile slide release. Nice wide and grippy mag release that works well. Out on the range I did have one instance where I had a little trouble getting one of the Magpul mags out, but I think it was more me than anything. You can see here they slide freely, so no problem there. Of course, you can attach any of your favorite light accessories. I like the TLR7A, and you see me run that pretty much on all of my pistols. I've already got all the holsters set up for it. You get an extended beaver tail. That's really nice. And I would point out the trigger is very nice on this gun. To me, I prefer this trigger over the Glock. It is a very solid trigger. It's got a little more weight than maybe some of your custom Glock triggers, but that comes with reliability. When you start getting really light on your Glock triggers, you're messing with some of the springs, and typically that leads to light primer strikes and things of that nature, where here you don't have to worry about that. You've got what people call the gas pedal, or like a small shelf right here that you can rest your support thumb on, which is really nice. You know, for me, I don't know that that really plays a big part, but you got a lot of grip here too. So any type of friction or anything to prevent that muzzle rise as you're shooting, that helps out. All right, you can't go wrong with that. Looks like the MR920 is performing. Beautiful gun, beautiful gun. All right, shooters, we're getting down to the last few rounds that I want to run through this. On that last drill, I did notice one thing. I did get a critique from my last video where I reviewed the CZ P10C, so check that video out. But when I was doing my mag changes, I looked down at the gun and do that mag change. We'll have to look back at older video and see if I've always done that, because I can't remember. But the critique is you shouldn't have to look at your gun. You should be able to reload. So again, out of practice right now, but let's try to do it without looking at the gun so much. All right, I didn't look at the gun. It was a little slower, but I made all my shots. So was it better? I don't know. Let's try it again. All right, again, I didn't really look at the gun, but I struggled a little bit with the mag change. So some muscle memory there, and I think with practice I can get back to not looking at the gun at all. All right, that was fairly smooth. I missed both my second shots, but they were just off to the left-hand side. All right, let's check out the trigger on the Shadow system. To me, it is much better than the standard Glock trigger. First of all, it's got a flat face. I do appreciate any of my striker fire pistols having the trigger safety there. It just, especially like when carrying appendix, but just carrying in general, reholstering, I like that trigger safety because the trigger can't be pulled unless it is engaged. So it just adds one more point of intention to the trigger being pulled and prevents things like clothing or other things from pressing in that trigger safety. It's just one extra safeguard. So not guaranteed, but I like that better than pistols, especially striker fires that don't have it. But the trigger itself, it's very similar to a Glock. So you have some take up and then you hit a pretty firm wall. Less mushy than the standard Glock trigger. And once you hit that, you're hitting, quite a little bit of weight, but there's kind of a little bit of mushiness, and then the trigger breaks. Very crisp break. And when we look at the reset, comes forward quite a bit, but very positive. It pushes your finger forward and then comes back. So got to be about 3/16 of an inch travel, but that last bit really springs your finger forward and it comes back. Very crisp, very tactile. For the reset, don't have a lot of complaints. It is an aluminum trigger, so it is not polymer. I think the trigger safety, it's hard to tell. Might be aluminum as well, it might be polymer, I'm not sure, but flat trigger, just a great trigger. I would say I prefer this trigger over the standard Glock trigger for sure. If we look at the Shadow system broken down, it's very similar to the Glock 19 or any Glock you've seen. Again, you've just got a lot of features here on this lower that you don't have, but the breakdown is the same. The recoil spring is a little bit different. It is a single recoil spring, similar to the Gen 3 and older. And this one is all steel, so that's nice because you get a plastic kind of dual spring or whatever with some of your other Glocks. So the steel is nice. So it's just got a lot of upgrades that most people are doing to their Glocks, but you're getting it right out of the box. So shooters, if you can find a great deal on a Shadow Systems version of the Glock you're looking for, I would recommend checking it out. That's the reason why I went with this one. You know, it was only a couple $100 more than a stock Glock, but it's got everything I wanted to do to it. So it's just ready to go out of the box. I'm always looking for some great deals. Found this one used. I would buy it again. This is the second one I've owned, third one I've reviewed. And just want to say, you know, if you're looking for a new carry pistol, home defense pistol, or just range toy, check out the Shadow Systems MR920. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you all and God bless. Now shooters, I've only made, I think, 7 shooting videos in the last 12 months. And a big part of that's been because I've been moving, getting my new setup set up, you know, building chicken houses, fencing in property, recently acquired some goats. And so just getting everything ready, you know, and just haven't had time to really do a lot of shooting. I've been spending my money on other things. I've got a couple suppressors that are on the way. Got one of them, the tax stamps filled, and I've got a couple more suppressors coming. So between all that, you know, it's just kept me busy, kept me away from filming, but I plan to start getting back into it. So hopefully you'll start seeing more frequent content from the Shooter's Resource channel. Now the MR920 is the third Shadow System pistol that I've reviewed. This is one that I found used. I got a really great deal on it. And so I knew that it was gonna be a performer. It does have a threaded barrel, which is nice. I think I got it right about $200 above a used Glock 19 that was in the same gun case. And so at that price point, to get you know, steel, tritium sights, high vis front, blacked out rear, which is kind of what I normally go for, and for it to be optics cut, which most of your guns are these days, and for it to have a threaded barrel already. You know, that $200 price point, I probably would have spent a little more money just on the sights and the barrel. So to have it come already ready, plus it's a little lighter than your Glock, so I knew it was a great value, and that's why I decided to get the MR920.